Welcome to CTO Insights, where we unpack the strategies behind high performing engineering teams. I'm your host, Katerina, and today I have the pleasure of welcoming Farah Chabchoub, CTO at Worklife. In this episode, we dive into what it takes to shift from growth at all costs to building a profitable tech company. Farah shares how she helps late stage startups build a sustainable organization by shifting from shipping fast to focusing on the roadmap as a financial plan. We cover how to plan with budgets in mind, align with the board, and balance delivery speed with long-term company health. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into creating high-performing teams and standout products. This episode is brought to you by Adiva, a global network of top developers connecting businesses with world-class talent. Whether you need to scale your team or bring an idea to life, Adiva empowers you to increase your engineering capacity without the overhead of traditional hiring. Visit adiva.it to learn more. Welcome.
Hey, hello, Katerina. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
To kick off, I want to start with the most interesting question. You usually join post-Series C or after an acquisition. Why that moment? What's broken and what are you brought in to fix?
Yeah, that's really interesting question in a way that, I think that I have never done it in purpose to join companies in this stage. But I think that what is interesting in it mainly is that after an acquisition or after a big investment step, you have really to ensure that you are funding the money for the right reason. And like you came in a momentum that is really key for the company. So that's what I have always left for each company that I have joined, where you need like to structure thing to ensure that you have really the right operational excellence and technical excellence to be able to ensure that the money is really rightly invested. So it have been always like that for me, like since 10 years now, working in startup and scale up, and even after acquisition, it's always the same thing, like how we can really make our team most efficient and like really ensure that these investments are really done in the right purpose.
And when we spoke before this recording, you said that your goal is to make companies EBITDA positive. And it's very interesting angle because you rarely hear that from CTOs. CTO's goal is always to ensure technical excellence or optimize the process or anything focused on the tech. For you, that comes secondary or in line with this first one, but the EBITDA positive, and for everyone who is not into finance, that means that the company needs to be healthy and profitable. Can you walk us through your approach, and especially how does your role look like when you join a company?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, there are different step of CTOs. There are CTO in early cases, startup where really you are here, like really to create product market fit, to really go and meet your customers. And there is also the CTO kind of really in this momentum where like you're just after acquisition or after raising. And I think that currently in the market, when we are seeing that there is no longer a fundraising everywhere and free money in a way. So I think that it's really key for a team like a tech team to not be only viewed as a center of cost, which could be always the case, but how we as a CDO embrace a vision that is really business oriented and think about EBITDA also on the tech side. So for me, each time that I'm joining a company, I really try to connect the dots. Like what my team is bringing and the business part that really creates a value. And to be able to do that, there is no way to do it without seeing really what the team is delivering. So if your team is really working only on fixing issues, running after incidents, really on a fireman or firewoman like a case, that means that probably the main of your time and the main of your capacity and investment is done to fix the problems rather than creating a new value or addressing a new vertical or creating a new product that disturb the market. That's why I think like today for me the vision around that, around this EBITDA positive, is mostly about how we can ensure that the teams, they are not really working on fixing the problems. That doesn't mean that when there is an issue we are not fixing it, but that's mean that we ensure that we have a product that is reliable enough, there is sustainable enough, that we are able to focus on creating the business value that will bring money and make us even more interesting in terms of revenue. And so we can then, after all, make more investment. And so the EBITDA could follow after that. But we cannot run after issues and not disturbing the product part and creating innovation and so on if we have so much problem and that we are not efficient operationally. Yeah, that's a big, I know that probably for people that are hearing us, it's so macro as a vision, but there are a lot of things that we can do that could help bringing this vision on the table, as for the executive part, as for the board, but also for the teams to explain what does that mean.
But we'll come back to the board to discuss roadmap, finance, and everything in more detail. I just want to go a bit further into the practical side of this. Like when you join a new company, especially a company that has or a startup that is used to growing at all costs, and now the mindset needs to change and the approach needs to change. What are the first steps that you take? Like, how do you assess the situation? Do you have any framework or concrete steps?
Yeah. I think that the most important thing when you join a company, specifically as a leader, whatever CTO or any other kind of profile, for me, which is the most important, is that like to get the context of the team and how people are working and their feeling, the qualitative part of what they are living. For example, when I joined Worklife 2 years ago, the idea was really going through different teams, from my team, like the engineering part, to product, to operation, but also sales, financial team, and ask questions. Just open question. I think that's really also important to get what they are like seeing in this situation, what the points that they really see as difficult points that we need to tackle, that they are challenging and that are hurtful for them in the daily basis, and what are the issue, like the points that are really great and we need to maintain them, because that's also important. We are not just here like to change everything, but also to get what should we maintain, because there are also in a startup and in any company, if you are in a situation and you have already lived a amount of years or even some months, as if you are a startup, if you are here, is that there are some great things to give. So this helps me a lot to create a really great relationship with people and go with the qualitative part. And then I worked a lot also with the board member to get why the direction of this company, why the governance of the company want a new person joining. So what they are waiting for me. Then once all of that is done, then you go to the quantitative part. And I think that part also cannot be skipped. Specifically when we are a CTO, we are mostly very analytic, very logic. And I think that also it's bring our capacity to be this kind of engineering background person that people that are waiting from us. So then I go through taking some KPIs. So for example, when we are talking about EBITDA positive at Worklife, when I have joined, one of the main things that I wanted to get is how much we are doing support per card holders. So today we are there, so a benefit company, all benefit in one credit card. So each new user, it's a new card holder. So if I get an understanding of how much we are doing support by card holder, I will see if we have something that is flat, or if we have like support that is really scaling while we are scaling the number of card holder, and in a way like we know that it's not scalable in a way. So I search like for a lot of qualitative metrics, like regarding our productivity, our time to market, our like also our cycle, our resolution time, how much we have failures, how much we have incidents. And I connect all these KPI. And then after that, I make a report to the board. And the idea of the report is not about just assessing and taking the qualitative and quantitative part, but also about proposing a startup solution and see in this presentation how people will react regarding it. And also keep some open doors to create solution, open the discussion with the board, with the comex, to get their insight and ensure from the beginning. Yeah, so I do that like at the first month, second month. And from the beginning, I will be sure that I will be working on the right parts, and that the solution that will be bring, it will be buy-in by the comex, the board, the governance part. Because I think that if you don't have the buy-in there, it will be even more difficult to go and get the buy-in of the team. So once that's done, then I go and I present the finalized vision to the team, integrating on it their vision, their proposals, what they see, some also verbiage that they have already shared with me. And like that, they will have this feeling of influencing the real vision that I will be executing. And it's not only about the feeling, it will be the case. So I think that's also how we can get the buy-in from the beginning and ensure that we are going on the right way. But that doesn't mean that it's set and that you will not change after all. But yeah, that's a first milestone, and then we go through it. And yeah, we adapt if there is a need.
And talking about the board, what are the main challenges that you are facing at the beginning, especially aligning the product roadmap with the financial plan, which should basically be the same for a tech company, right?
Yeah, I think, as I said, like tech team always is not seen as, and that's really sad for me to say, to be honest, because we are mostly not seen as a strategic asset, even in our marketing or in our branding. We have a lot of company, and specifically here in Europe, because I'm based in France and I see it in France, like we have so few CTOs that are part of boards, and not only CTOs that are part of the company, but even tech people that could be like independent board member. That's really something very rare here in Europe. I think that in the US a little bit more like better, but it's not drastical. If you see like financial profile or sales profile, that they will be directly very business oriented and seen as business oriented, which is not the case of our tech people. So I think here that the most challenging part is how you work on yourself to be able to have discussion to people that are business oriented. So if I will continue working and talking like I'm talking to my engineer, as I will be talking with my financial people, like financial C-level or business people that are in the boardroom, I think that I will not be at all taken seriously, and I will not even be able to pass the messages. So that's the first thing that I think that I have worked a lot on it to ensure that I'm talking with the same verbatins. I'm really trying to understand what are the things that are important for them, because other way my speech will not pass, I think. The other way is also to be able in this comprehension to highlight the value of the tech part. So I'll give you here a very concrete example. So a few months ago at Worklife, we had to work our business plan. And we started by the financial part, but then like we said, oh, how much people we need to hire in the tech team? And I really worked very closely with my CPO, my CEO, and my CFO to ensure if what's the vision that we want to go for. And after that, how much we need to invest in terms of development to be able to go to this vision. And so the idea of the business plan, it was not only about, okay, the tech team is about the cost. It was, okay, the tech team is about investing to create this vision, to create this product. And that's why we need this amount of people. And that's how we will go through that. And to be able also to align the different people, because what's really difficult here is that when we do the roadmap, some people comes with, for example, operation team, they want to improve the customer satisfaction. Product team, they want to create a new value. Probably if you are searching on the tech team, we want to improve the efficiency and so the autonomy of the other teams and the reliability of the system. So what we have done here, and it's a framework that I have proposed to my CPO and my CEO, is to have 3 metrics, and each new item of the roadmap, we need to score it through these 3 metrics. And these metrics, they are how much this new idea will bring in terms of revenue, so that we have something to bring to the financial part, how much it will be bringing in terms of customer satisfaction. So like that, we will really see if we want to go through customer satisfaction improvement, and how much we will have saving if we do this feature, because we will autonomize, for example, the customer or autonomize the internal teams and so on. And with these 3 metrics, we have, after all, a score. And so like that, when we come in to discuss this roadmap and like where we want to invest and so on, we have very tangible way to discussing it. And it's not only about, okay, my feeling is I want that, and is the one that will be most, I would say, like stronger in terms of negotiation that will success. But here it's really how we came with facts and how we came with metrics, with a vision, and how we will align all together and make it really very financial and very vision oriented, very business oriented. And I think that really bring a maturity, like in the discussion, really interesting, and make us in a position where it's more interesting also for the board members.
That's amazing. And that goal that you have set for yourself, like making the company EBITDA positive, I think it just speaks for itself, because if you enter the boardroom with that focus in mind and then talk to them about how product and how engineering can contribute to becoming a more financially sustainable company, then it completely flips the discussion basically.
Yeah, totally. So you need like a hack to change the vision of like we are here to create value. And so even I think that it make the cursor on the right ways. Because if you are like a tech company, the idea of the tech is here to enable the other teams. So the problem in the tech team is a problem if they are not working on creating the right value. But then if they are creating the right value, it's not about a center of cost. So meaning is it's a center of creating value. And so could be your sales team, which is the center of cost if they are not selling enough. So that's really interesting also, I think, when you go in this kind of discussion.
I want to talk about building roadmaps that are ambitious, but still focus on the budget and keep in mind the financial sustainability and all of that. But I think we also need to touch on the coordination between product, tech, and finance, because that would paint the full circle around this.
Yeah, sure. I think that at least product and tech have been always subject. I think it will be always subject because you cannot work a tech team without a product vision and you cannot execute a product vision without a tech team. At least probably until in a few months now with the AI, probably you can do a lot of things now. And regarding that specifically, I think that what we are doing currently at Worklife, for example, we are pushing more and more our product team to go through AI and creating their MVP, their first version of the product that they want to see through AI in an autonomous way, like 100% like a white card, go and make it and test it even in production, go through it. That's really interesting because that costs you mostly nothing today if you compare that to really having an engineering team only working in that, and it will also help you to make the right choices because when we go with the first version we will be able with the product team to set okay where we want to invest money is in that because we have done already first version, we have seen that it's really successful, that it needs really more investment, and so we are really convinced that we need to invest in that. And I think that's really something that is currently changing with the AI, that we need to embrace it for tech teams also. Don't having these worries about, okay, we will disappear or so on. But no, it's more how we can take it positively to make also the product team probably a little bit more technical and also gain a lot of money and gain a lot of velocity, energy on quick wins or quick project where we could not probably invest at the beginning, and if it is not working also being able to cut costs without any painful way.
And speaking about the cost of a bad roadmap or focusing on features that are not creating as much value as they spend, do you have any examples of lack of planning that led to serious financial consequences or operational consequences, or lack of alignment of the roadmap with the financial structure of the company?
To be honest, I have a lot of examples. Through 10 years in startup and scale up, you see a lot of things that are functional, but also dysfunctional organizations. Sometimes it's the naive part when we are in this scale and we think that everything is right and we live with ambiguity. So yeah, everything is working and so on. I think the most regular trap that I have seen here is the incapacity to forecast the scale of the maintenance versus the real need. So most of the time there is, oh, we are scaling, we have already a product market fit, everything is working well, we have the best tech team in the world, everything is running great and so on. But it came out of that is that if your product have not been designed for the scale, you are not forecasting at all the need of support, the need of maintenance that you will have. And so what could happen there, it's what I call always it's non-quality nightmare flywheel. And to be honest, each time that I'm joining a company, I'm joining in this momentum. So the momentum is really interesting because what you start to see is that you start to have a lot of support, a lot of issues, and your teams, they are mostly running after the issue. So it's like you are really reactive. And so when you are reactive, what is happening is that you are in rush. You need to fix the issue and you need to fix it very fast because otherwise the customer will not be happy. They could churn, like you will have the real issues there. And so what happens? So while you are fixing the issue very quickly, you will not also have the time to really deliver the new things on the right way. So even the new things that you are delivering, you are degrading the quality of what you are delivering. And so with that, you are introducing even more issues. And so you are working even more under stress, and you are really in a very bad flywheel. And that have really a customer impact and a financial impact, because when you have issue in production that are directly detected by your user, what is happening is these users and these customers, they will probably not refer you, not talk about you very positively, which is not good to get a new customers. So for conversion and for your marketing, for your brand and image, it's not something really great. But at the same time, and even worse than that, what could happen is having the churn. So while you are really running after having a new customer, which is very difficult at least, you are also running after keeping these customers because they are not happy, they are seeing the issues, and they could run also. And even most difficult on that we totally get out of the vision, is that if you are doing that in a continuous way, you will no longer be able to create a new value, so new verticals, new products. And so you are losing the course in a way regarding your competitors, because competitors are not, they will not wait for you, they will continue, they will bring new value, and that will also decrease the stress. So that's what I have always seen in terms of project, or at least like governance way, that we always like in scale up, when we pass in a certain amount of number of customers, and when you start like really seeing a huge number of conversion, you could have this collapse. And sometimes like some companies, they are able to see it and to interact in the right way. And I've seen also some companies where it have been a disaster, and we had to cut some product lines and to create new momentum, to create the focus, to treat the legacy. So yeah, I think that's also part of the startup scale up ecosystem. And I think any company they have it, even not in startup, you can face that too.
How do you manage the team, the stakeholders when you need to cut a full product line?
Yeah, that's I think the you need a lot of courage to do this kind of thing. I think not all the leaders are meant to do that, to be honest. There are a lot of places where it could be like dysfunctional, and you make it as business as usual, and that's where you go through this flywheel and so on. And most of the time it's because it was not there like the enough courage to write the right decision, and that's why like you face yourself on this situation. So yeah, it's very difficult, to be honest. I have faced it on my career twice, and it was always like very difficult to go and to explain to the teams that it's very important to do it, and specifically for the teams, because business stakeholders, they are always better if you are convinced about it, and if you have the trust, if you build the trust, so you have the open bar to do it in a way. But the teams, managing the teams, and specifically like ensuring that the teams that will be there working either in another project, or if you have, for example, even cut costs regarding the team, so you have done some layoffs, how to ensure that the teams that will be there will still engage with you and still really have the trust on what you are building together. And so to do that, it's all about, I said, communication. So you need to have some really key team members on which you can really rely, on which you can be totally transparent. And these team members could also help you on creating the communication and making it more smooth for anyone in the team. Because if you have like in the team some teammates that already get the situation and are able like to explain it to another one, it could make the situation less dramatic for the other team members. And yeah, then we go with it. And at the end, it's still also keeping some empathy. For sure, we are in a business way and so on. But when we are doing these kind of things, we have to have also some empathy for people, and also thank people for what they have done in terms of project and so on. And be honest about, yeah, now we are in a difficult momentum and we need to shift. So let's do it. And we need to shift because we need to maintain the others and also maintain something mostly probably more big or more interesting, but for collective vision after all. Yeah. So sorry, my response was too much. I done you too much details, but I think that yeah, that's very difficult momentum, to be honest. Very tough things to manage.
No, that's completely fine. It's a very difficult position to be in, so I can understand the elaboration. You mentioned layoffs, and when you join a company, especially when your focus is to make it more sustainable, what are the steps that you take apart from the roadmap and in terms of people and hiring plans, and especially if the company has already overhired?
And as I have said, like at the beginning, when I go through this questionnaire regarding all the team members, that give me a lot also about the qualitative part of the people. When you're in a momentum where you want to be a bit positive, you need really people that are reliable and they are really perseverant with really a resistance. It's always very difficult momentum. Like it's never a momentum where everything is fine. It's momentum where it's shake. And it's always what I'm saying to my teams, like, guys, like take your belt, it will shake because you know that you need to have a courage to take these kind of decisions. You need to assess if you have the right people. And when I'm saying that, it's not only about the productivity, the velocity, the quality of the work that is done, but also having the people that have the right mindset. And that you could not make it without assessing the relationship with the people. And sometimes, even in a team, when you have some people that are really great, like very talented people with a great velocity, with a great quality of work, and so on, if it is not working, and specifically if it is your middle manager as a CTO, I think that's also very important to be totally transparent and to know to stay stop to the relationship very early. Don't wait for degrading like the relationship and when it will be not at all manageable for anyone. I got a case like a few months ago. I got an engineering manager. He was really great person, kind of person that you can all even see outside of the work. Like he was really cool, very good mindset. But when it comes to the vision where we want to go with the team and so on, we were not at all aligned. And we have managed to work together different months. And at the end, I was like totally also transparent with the guy. I said, it's very important in this momentum where we can rely on each other, and to rely on you, I need to ensure that you are aligned with my vision, and we cannot do it if you are not. And it's not because you're not aligned with me as a person, but because this vision is the company vision. So if you are not buying it, it will be very difficult even for your team to follow. And so you will be in a way in a standalone your vision outside of the company, and that's not business widely interesting for the company. Yeah, I think that's very important to assess these kind of things. It's not only we think always about the soft skills, but soft skills, hard skills, the capacity to have introspection, to have right discussion with the people, to live with ambiguity also. Yeah, I think that's important in the team, specifically in this kind of momentum.
And you mentioned at the beginning talking to the board about any product initiative that you're taking and how it contributes, basically, how it creates value for the business. And I think you had three different points about whether it will bring new revenue or customer satisfaction. What was the third one?
And the saving. So if we have any automation saving in terms of man days.
Right. Yes. And how do you use this? Like when you evaluate, for example, with tight budgets, when you evaluate what needs to stay in the roadmap, what needs to get cut off or postponed, do you have any process or framework that perhaps incorporates all these three?
So first point is that to see, as I said, do we have at least at the tech side, because this roadmap is at the company level. So I bring it at the company level. But what I'm doing at the tech side very specifically is that, okay, how much I am today delivering effort in the support and maintaining, and how much I'm delivering effort on creating new value. If my support effort are more than 30%, to give you an idea, I think in the market standard today, it should be between 10 and 20% at the maximum. If you are doing more, meaning that you have an issue in terms of reliability, in terms of product, that there are missing feature or there are like missing issues in terms of architecture. So there is something not working in a way. So that's the first thing that I'm assessing each month. So each month I'm staying with all my engineering managers, seeing all the teams and saying, okay, guys, how much we have worked on the run, on maintenance, and how much you have worked in creating new value. If we are more than 30%, meaning that I need to push for any initiative that will cut the mandates, cut the savings. So I will, in prioritization framework with my board, with my colleagues, I will say, guys, we got like more than 30% for support, for example. So we need to go and see how we can save some mandates and work on this kind of initiative. So on the scoring part, I will bring more, I would say like more points for the scoring on saving. So yeah, that's for the tech side. So I said, in terms of like for the company level, it's also regarding of your vision. So I will give you another example. So for example, if the idea of the company is now, if we want to get more revenue, we need to create a new line of product because our competitors are going through that and we have a sized the market and we need to go through the opportunity of a sized market that is really huge. So in the scoring part, what we will be really prioritizing is all the initiatives that are coming with this revenue because we knew that we want to really focus on the revenue. And you can have also this vision same. If, for example, currently this quarter, we got like very bad operational way. And so we got like a degraded CSAT. So what we will be really making on like a priority is all the issues that are mostly tackling the CSAT. I think that vision depends totally regarding which momentum the company is leaving, because it's not only about, okay, you have these three metrics, but each metric also have a way to produce at the end the score. So if your priority is on the revenue, so you need to really high weight the revenue or on the prioritization on the score part. And if, for example, there is saving or CSAT, it could be like high weighting these other two. If you need something balanced, it's also about having a weighted or balanced weighting. I will really also, if I have to give like a remark on that, avoid making something flat in terms of weighting, because that means that you are not really making a choice. There is always choice, because if you need like more revenue, more CSAS or more saving, so you need to put weight. And I think that making it flat, it will be maybe more difficult to really take bold decisions because you choose. Yeah, but that comes at the end from the vision that you have, but also the landscape that you are living with, as I said, for example, for the support.
Makes sense. When it comes to, especially for CTOs that transition from one stage to another, so let's say they've been growing at all costs and now they want to focus more on sustainability, what are the mindset shifts that they need to take?
I think it's really this mindset of costs. You need to be really cost sensitive and try to have a lecture of everything you are doing in the teams in terms of what's the impact in terms of revenue or the impact in terms of cost. Very difficult, to be honest, specifically because most of the time the CTOs that are in the early stage and specifically really creating value at all costs, it's mostly people that could be very doer, not people that are strategic in terms of a tactical part. Okay, what's the KPI? They are mostly about, okay, they are like here to bring the value. So creating a lot of things, let's do and make a lot of Kickstarter project, which is really great also in terms of profile, because these are inventors. These are like people that really are here to create new products that are really like entrepreneur vision. And that's great. But shifting from entrepreneur vision to a very strategic vision, which is I need to manage every cost. I need to get all the KPI. I need to be very quantitative on my way of working. It's not only about words, it's also about facts. And which, like each fact, what does it mean in terms of cost? What does it mean if I will go through it at the time? And what does that mean regarding my business plan? That's another job. To be honest, that's another job, because that's mean that you have to really manage your budget, know where you are making more costs, why you are making it, managing the budget in your way, and not letting your CFO managing it and just taking it. Working also with your people, for example, chief people officer. Okay, these people are really efficient, how they are working. That's another time mission. It's for sure CTO that you get the same title, but I think it's not the same job, to be honest. I think that it's another job. It's more tactical. And it's also part of the duties about also storytelling, because you need to embark the team on this vision. So not just, okay, I'm good at Excel sheets and making my budget. No, it will not work like that. How I will ensure that my team get the point that like a cost is very important, and that if we are not doing it like that, it will be really we will be seen not how we should be seen, and that will not bring really something great for our team as a team. So communication is key, preparing slide, discussing with other stakeholders, and yeah, very strategic, I think, move, to be honest.
To wrap up, if you would isolate one piece of advice for engineering leaders leading teams and startups in hybrid environments, what would that be?
I think the most important thing is get around you the right people and people that are smarter than you and that have the real resilience. I think as a leader and as a CTO, we cannot at all make it by ourselves, specifically in difficult momentum like that. The middle management is really key. And without the right middle management, I think that you can do a lot of effort and it could not work. So for me, that's the most important thing. And to be honest, for a long time, I didn't get it. I was always like, okay, we'll get the middle management that have different mindset. We'll also create the right mood in the team. But then I got, when I passed by difficult momentum, how much this leadership team is really the core team to make all the team working together and all the team on the same plate. So yeah, that's, I think, the advice that I would give to any CDO that I have to pass by this momentum.
Perfect. Thank you, Farah. It was a very insightful conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot, Katerina.
CTO Insights is brought to you by Adiva. To learn more about how we support innovative tech teams, visit adiva.it. Don't forget to subscribe to CTO Insights on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.